Now here, you ball players know what this is? Well, that's not a rhetorical question, Miss Weston.
Shillip, Arthur.
Mr. Shelley, do you know what this is?
A can of tomato juice.
Where you see tomato juice, I see liquid gold. The Lemo Tomato Juice Company currently generates sales of over $6 million. Now, our goal is to spearhead the introduction of this fine product to markets west of the Mississippi. Miss Virginia Szabo, our Lemo Tomato Juice girl, is our featured celebrity. Now, do each of you ball players understand your role in this promotion? Gentlemen, when I structure an interrogative sentence, I expect an answer. Miss Westcott.
Metcalf, Jeffrey.
Mr. Metcalf, you understand your role in introducing Lemo west of the Mississippi?
With all due respect, sir, I signed on to go barnstorming. When I signed on, Lemo tomato juice wasn't part of the package. I don't have any problem with you hawking your product, but as I see it, my part is to play ball as well as I can, and that's what I intend to do.
Oh. Man of noble purpose, huh? Well, Mr.
Metcalf.
Metcalf, let's face facts. Cold hard ones. You're not Bob Feller, and you're not playing against Satchel Paige. And this tour would have been canceled if Mr. Walter Lemo hadn't stepped in to subsidize it. This tomato juice is paying for your train ticket, your meals, and particularly your salary. And you owe it your allegiance. You understand me? Huh?
Not only do I understand, sir, but I pledge no other tomato juice will cross my lips.
It will not, sir. Your responsibility is to introduce this product with dignity.
I will give Lemo tomato juice all the dignity it deserves, sir.
You bet you will, young man. We'll see to that. And now I'd like to introduce you to my very capable assistant, Miss Westcott. Miss Westcott?
You must comport yourselves as gentlemen. Anderson, lower berth 1. Jackets and ties are to be worn at all times. De Gala, upper berth 1. Dyer, lower berth 2. No alcohol. Generelli, upper berth 2. You must be in your assigned berths every night at 10 o'clock. Lambell, lower berth 3. I check roll at 10:05. Metcalf, upper berth 3. You'll receive 1 demerit for any infractions of these rules. Salmanovich, lower berth 4. 5 demerits will result in your immediate dismissal from this team. Zucker, upper berth 4. Any questions?
Yeah, where's he sleeping? He gets a room?
I paid for it myself. I needed peace and quiet to study my law books.
Mr. Shillip's accommodations notwithstanding, the rules apply to one and all alike. I will be in the next compartment, compartment D. If there are any questions, don't hesitate to knock.
I see. You and Mr. Shillip are in the same car, and the rest of us ball players are 2 cars back. Well, Arthur, I'm sure you'll get plenty of good rest and quiet to study your law books.
Excuse me. Miss Szabo and I will be sharing the next compartment. I will be serving as her chaperone en route, and we ask that we not be disturbed before 7 in the morning or after 9 in the evening. Thank you all very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there something else, Mr. Metcalf?
No, it's not fair one player getting to live like a king while the rest of us are packed in little boxes like sardines. It's bad for morale. It's a damn sorry way to start a barnstorming tour, too.
That's 1 demerit for profanity, Mr. Metcalf. 4 more demerits and you're off the tour.
Off the tour?
Off the tour.
You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark,
Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark.
what did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
After each game, Miss Sabo will conduct an interview with the most valuable player of the day during a live radio broadcast. So you must commit the script to memory because you don't get second chances on live radio. Would you care to go first, Mr. Metcalf? Well, come on now, son. Don't be shy.
People all around.
Well, we're not bothering anybody. Are we?
Excuse me, I can't speak for the other passengers, but I find it quite informative.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Would you care for a free can of Lemo tomato juice?
Oh, that would be lovely, thank you.
Well, shall we give it a go, Mr. Metcalf, Miss Sabo?
Well, Mr. Metcalf, how does it feel to play for the first time in the tall corn state of Nebraska?
Even though I've never been to this great state before, I felt like I was back home. Now that Lemo tomato juice is available west of the Mississippi, I can drink a can before the game like I did when I played for the Indians in the regular season. Lemo gives me the energy I need to get all those hits.
Well, it sure worked for you today. You went blank for blank.
We adjust the copy after each game. And for pitchers, we say, Lemo gives you the energy you need to throw a curved ball or whatever. Which reminds me, lest any of you players get stage fright and decide not to play well in order to avoid your radio duties, let me point out that not only does the most valuable player of the game get an interview, he also pockets an extra $50.
That's quite a generous amount.
You can't offer ball players peanuts. They already make $6,000-7,000 a year.
In 1 year? I had no idea. My word, who would have thought? Baseball. We have to decide on a name for this poor little thing. Al, I like your name. Little Alfred. Baby Al Jr.
We don't have juniors.
We?
Jews.
Why not?
Tradition.
Oh, I've always liked the name James. How's my Jamesy? Little Jimmy Sleepy.
Why don't we call him Prince James? And when he grows up, we can call him King James.
James was my father's name.
Murray was my favorite uncle's name.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, thank you. She's fine. Oh, the little fella's healthy as a horse. He doesn't sleep very much, but I guess that's just the luck of the draw. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Bye-bye. That was the Petries. They want to stop by tomorrow and see little Murray and leave him a present.
I'm not about to let this baby be exposed to germs. Everybody knows not to visit a newborn.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think of that. Well, I won't let them get too close to him.
I want you to call them back and tell them that they can't come.
I just told them they could come.
Well, damn it to hell, I don't care. They can't see him.
Could I interest you in some tomato juice?
Couldn't pay me to drink that stuff.
I thought they were paying you.
I still don't have to drink it. Can I buy you a beer?
That sounds lovely.
No alcohol, Mr. Metcalf, and bed check is in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Miss Westcott.
Well, if she's not Lady Killjoy.
I considered quitting this tour, but I have to make my car payments.
You're quite the realist to stick it out. I don't suppose I could get a rain check on that beer.
I wish you could, but we get off to play tomorrow.
What about afterwards?
Well, the train will be long gone. They're unhooking the Lemo sleeper car so the ball players can stay.
What a pity. I'm straight through to Reno for my divorce.
You already have one demerit, Mr. Metcalf.
Well, I got to run or the Iron Maiden will kick me off the train.
Good night.
Yeah. Excuse me.
asleep.
I called the Petries and told them we were afraid of germs. They understood.
That's good.
But I don't.
Obviously not. You told them he was as healthy as a horse,
He is.
which also makes him sound big.
And he is big.
Ergo, he obviously wasn't premature.
Oh. I didn't think of that. I'm sorry.
I don't want to give people reason to speculate. I don't care what people say about me. But it is our son who is the one who will suffer.
Hello? Mrs. Seneff. Yes, he's beautiful. No, not yet. Well, we just call him Baby. Oh, we'd love to have you see him, but the doctor said we should wait until he gets a little bigger. Older. What with him coming early and all. Oh, I knew you'd understand. Thanks. And thanks for the casserole you sent. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean I'm giving in on this James thing.
Anderson, DeGala, Dyer, Gennarelli, Lambell, Metcalf.
Told you, no demerits. Got my jammies on, I brushed my teeth, I said my prayers. I don't suppose I could convince you to come up here and tuck me in.
With your attitude, Mr. Metcalf.
You can call me Jeffrey. Do you have a first name, Miss Westcott?
With your attitude, Mr. Metcalf, you won't last 2 games. Good night.
Sweet dreams, Miss Westcott.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're gonna leave you now.
Mrs. Sloan, we didn't expect you till dinner.
Mike and I decided to come home for lunch.
The storm windows are all up except in the living room, and I'll get those before the day's over.
Good. What's in the oven?
In the oven, I believe that Gloria started the roast.
Doesn't smell like roast.
It doesn't.
Goodness, there are 2 big cobblers in here.
Why? Why what? Why are there cobblers in with the roast?
As long as the oven was hot.
But why 2 and such big ones?
Because...
Our apples are still in season.
Oh, my goodness, so are pumpkins. But that doesn't mean we make pumpkin pie for an army. This is not a restaurant, and it's false economy to buy more than we need, if anything, just because it's in season. We'll never be able to eat it all before it goes bad.
Well, why don't Abe and Gloria take one of the cobblers home?
That's very kind of you.
I know exactly what to do with the extra one. I need something to take to Mrs. Kahn. She's just had a baby, and you know with the new baby in the house, food is always welcome.
I'm sure she'll enjoy it.
Well, in future, let's not let our eyes get bigger than our budget.
I'd like to tell that to Congress. You let me know when it's out of the oven.
I knew it was a bad idea cooking those here.
I thought that she was still in the office, and so did you, or you would have told me that before I put them in the oven, so don't give me a hard time now.
Woman, giving you a hard time is the last thing I'd want to do.
When I think of all the money we just lost on those ingredients, and not just lost, but going into their bellies.
Look on the bright side. At least they didn't fire us. They fire us, we lose the restaurant. I'll call Mother, have her dig up some more apples.
And now I'm going to ask one of the Lemo All-Stars to step forward. The most valuable player of the day is... Arthur Schillip. Arthur, can you join me, please?
Well, Mr. Schillip, can you tell me, how does it feel to play for the first time in the tall corn state of Nebraska?
Just swell, Miss Sabo. Because even though I've never been to this great state before, I felt like I was back home. Now that Lemo tomato juice is available west of the Mississippi, I can drink a can before the game like I did when I played for the Indians during the regular season. Lemo gives me the energy I need to get all those hits.
Oh, it sure worked for you today. You went 3 for 4. And tell me, is there any other time you find yourself reaching for a Lemo?
On a date, I always order a Lemo tomato juice for the little lady. That way she knows I have her best interests at heart.
Speaking of little ladies, what type of girl does a big husky baseball player like you look for?
First of all, she has to like Lemo tomato juice.
I know I do.
And she's got to want what I want. A home, 4 or 5 kids.
That's my dream, too.
Oh, and it'd be nice if she liked yellow. That's my favorite color. Why, I never noticed before you were wearing...
Yellow! I think I hit the jackpot, gals. Wish me luck. And don't forget to drink Lemo. Bye now.
Thank you to the Lemo Traveling All-Stars and the lovely Lemo Tomato Girl. Remember, drink Lemo, the tomato juice that all the All-Stars...
What are you doing here?
I didn't want to miss your game. The conductor was so understanding, he arranged passage for me on the next train. If you're still interested, I'd like to take you up on that rain check.
That's 1 demerit. 4 more demerits and you're off the tour.
Well, that'd be swell if we can escape the dragon lady.
I'm sure we'll manage.
Grandmother Davis, what brings you here?
What brings me here? You should know what brings me here. Apples.
Abe asked you to bring them here?
No, but I had to go to 3 stores to find the kind of apples you like. And I ended up not far from here, and I thought I could put my feet up.
Well, that was very kind of you.
Hello.
Mrs. Sloan, this is my mother-in-law, Rebecca Davis.
Oh, Abe's mother. No wonder you look so familiar. I'm pleased to meet you.
And I'm pleased to meet you, Miss Sloan. I've heard a great deal about you.
Well, heavens to Betsy, Michael, look at this. I knew I recognized her. Turn to page 30. Abe's mother is the cook at Rupert's Cafe.
Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it?
It explains why they took umbrage at our criticism of the place. Remember how they got their backs up when we refused to rave about the grand reopening of Rupert's?
They must have thought we were trying to slight the poor woman.
Had I but known she worked there.
Let's make it up to them. Let's patronize the place. And whether we like the food or not, let's say it's delicious. Looks like they specialize in cobbler.
I don't imagine your mother knows you're traveling with a married woman. Thanks for buying Lemo.
I'm not traveling with a married woman. Caroline's traveling by herself. And for your information, she's going to Reno to get a divorce.
The train to Reno left hours ago. She's not on it. She's here.
That's because she changed her ticket.
I see. She decided to take the scenic route, past all the ball players.
There you go, son.
Could you sign my ticket?
I'm surprised you even noticed Caroline went with you, batting your eyes at Mr. Lawbooks.
At least Mr. Lawbooks will have a profession to go to when he's through playing silly ball games.
Thank you.
Which is more than some people I can name.
Profession? Let's talk about your profession, which is so far consistent of you showing your legs to every man east and west of the Mississippi.
I will thank you not to speak to me again for the rest of this tour.
Yeah, well, it will be my pleasure.
Oh, goodness, they're closed. What a disappointment.
We should have telephoned ahead.
Let's go over to Clark's.
There's someone inside.
Michael, Abe and Gloria are in there. And they're working. Michael, that's enough.
Mrs. Sloan, what a surprise.
I imagine it is.
Come on in. Gloria, look who's here.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is a surprise.
In more ways than one.
And you came by for...
Dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. The restaurant's only open on weekends.
Oh, but we do have
Then you
coffee.
work here weekends.
Yes.
Yes.
You specifically told me you did not have another job.
You asked me, was I working for someone else? And I said no.
Well, what do you call this?
We own this restaurant.
You do?
Yes.
Since when?
We bought it last April.
Is this what you wanted to borrow money for?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you tell us?
We weren't sure you'd be happy about it.
What does our opinion matter? What you do on your own time is strictly your own business.
I'm glad you understand.
I can't help but wonder if you have cobbler on the menu.
That's one of our specialties.
Then Mr. Sloan and I are subsidizing your business.
No, ma'am, you're not. Abe and I paid for every ingredient in those cobblers. And because your oven was already in use to cook the roast, it didn't cost you anything to bake them.
Not a single penny.
Miss Westcott, I've been testing your Lemo tomato juice. It's quite delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
Would you join me for a glass?
Oh, thank you, but I should do my bed check.
You have scads of time till curfew. You deserve a moment's relaxation. Bartender, could we have 2 more of these lovely tomato juice drinks?
This is very sweet of you. Not everyone, as you can imagine, looks kindly upon my role as chaperone.
Heavens, I should think it's quite a challenge getting all those young men to mind their P's and Q's.
Did you purchase a souvenir in Nebraska?
Yes, sir. For my mother.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
It's rather personal.
Good. I wanted to bring my mother something personal, too. Your mother likes beer, does she?
She likes to sample the local brews.
That's your second demerit, Mr. Metcalf.
What do you mean my clothes are lost?
They're not lost, ma'am. They're left on the train to Reno. Now, I've called ahead, and they'll put your suitcase off at the next stop. You'll get it tomorrow.
I can't wear this out in public.
You can have your meals in your room.
I'll keep you company. Have the kitchen send 2 porterhouses cooked medium to compartment E, please.
Right away, sir.
I'm in D.
Oh, you don't want to dine with Miss Westcott, do you?
I can't go to your room.
I'll leave the door open.
What lovely seasoning they put in. All sort of spicy. I must get the recipe.
I'll have the bartender write it down for us.
You bring me a 5th of scotch, I got a sawbuck waiting.
Now that's car 114, upper berth number 3.
Never mind the scotch, thank you. You don't seem to be taking this tour seriously, Mr. Metcalf.
The tour is not a problem. I have trouble with taking your rules seriously. Mr. Mellon, my mother sent me to Catholic schools. I don't remember the nuns being this strict. Jacket and tie at all times, no swearing, no drinking. The curfew at 10, we're grown men.
Son, I'm old. Little children open doors for me. Boy Scouts help me across the street. Age is supposed to make a person mellow, but the older I get, the meaner I seem to become. I need to make an example of someone. You know, to keep the rest of the Lemo All-Stars in line. Right now, you're my #1 candidate to hang out to dry. Am I making myself clear?
Perfectly clear, sir.
This is your 3rd demerit.
What's that?
Champagne.
Oh, drinking is against the rules.
Oh, rules are meant to be broken. Now, you've had a difficult day. You are over 21. And, 1 glass of champagne will not hurt you. We'll even drink out of coffee cups. Miss Westcott will never know.
Would you like another?
No, I couldn't. It's almost curfew. I have chicks to bed. Beds to boys. I must bed the boys.
Pardon me for asking, but, is there a special boy in your life?
No. I'm like the tomatoes the Lemo company rejects. Still on the vine. Never been picked.
No. But then it's your own fault. You're a lovely woman, but if you wait for a man to make the first move, then you'll wait till doomsday. Let them know you're available. Wear more lipstick. Learn to flirt.
No, I couldn't.
Pucker. I'll take you to the lavvy, And you can look in the mirror. There.
To the Lemo tomato juice girl.
To the Lemo All-Star's most valuable player. I feel silly in this costume. I think I'm gonna see if Miss Westcott has something I can wear.
What if she won't let you come back?
I won't tell her where I'm going.
This train is very unsteady. You get some sleep. Don't worry about curfew tonight. I'll handle it for you.
She was supposed to meet me here, blonde, English accent.
She just left.
Do you know what car she's on?
No, sir.
Thanks.
Time for curfew, son.
You don't want another demerit, do you?
I thought I'd lost you. How did you find my bunk?
I've got the Dragon Lady's checklist.
She guards that with her life. Did you kill her?
I was very naughty, but I think she'll live.
Good. Because I will not share my matchbox with a murderer.
I didn't start out to be the tomato girl. I wanted to be an actress. This is just how I'm paying my dues until I make it. A stepping stone to stardom, so to speak.
Ginger, you're already a star to me.
Thank you.
Are you comfortable? It's a bit cramped in here.
Seems quite cozy to me.
I never did get any beer. You are very resourceful.
You've noticed. I can't believe I was all mopey about going to Reno all alone. I'm having so much fun.
You're so nice, Arthur.
I'm not as nice as you give me credit for.
Yes, you are. You're a gentleman, and I know a true gentleman when I see one.
Would a true gentleman shut the door with a lady in his room?
Arthur.
Or would a true gentleman steal a kiss from a lady?
No, a true gentleman wouldn't do any of those things.
So I proved my point.
Maybe we should open the door?
Maybe we shouldn't.
I suppose I should toddle on back to my seat.
I can't let you spend all night in a cherry.
Is that an invitation?
Yes.
This is very kind of you.
Actually, it's my pleasure.
It's getting late. I don't want to miss bed check.
I'll tell Miss Westcott that you got accosted by a fan and couldn't get away, which is actually true.
I shouldn't be here. Not with the champagne and the rocking train and the door closed. I shouldn't be here.
Caroline, this doesn't seem right, you being a married woman.
I'm getting a divorce.
But you could change your mind.
I won't.
And if you changed your mind, you'd regret this.
Even if I change my mind about the divorce, which I'm not going to do, I wouldn't regret this. Are you all right? Jeff?
Metcalf.
There's a cow on the tracks. There's a cow on the tracks.
I'll bet that's your mother. And correct me if I'm wrong. That's 4 demerits, one more in your history.
Miss Westcott.
I
never told anyone my first name before.
That's not necessary.
Edna.
Edna, I think you need
A man.
some coffee. I'd like a cup of black coffee, please. I'll make that a pot.
Late for that, isn't it?
Good morning.
I'm sorry about last night.
I barely got any sleep sitting up in my chair, and I hold it against that cow.
Miss Westcott?
Oh, no, silly. The cow on the railroad tracks. I knew in India everyone stops for cows, but in America, who would have imagined?
Oh, I found this in the berth last night.
My bracelet. I was searching all over for it.
Excuse me, I need to get through if you don't mind. You know, that last jewelry trick is as old as the hills.
I beg your pardon?
You certainly got him hoodwinked. I thought you were a lot smarter than that, Jeff, and more decent, too.
Decent? Are you
saying I'm indecent?
If the shoe fits.
That's the pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, your kettle is black. My pot is
Your
not.
pot
Oh,
is
you
south.
are so strange.
I see through the wind. You were too. I saw you with my own eyes.
What is all this yelling?
What happened to you?
I've developed a severe case of motion sickness, and I intend to complain to the conductor. They can drive this train far smoother than they have been.
I think I can safely say that our first broadcast was an unqualified success.
ma'am?
And I want to congratulate Mr. Shillab, not only for his brilliance on the field, but for his very polished post-game performance, huh? And I'd like to add that despite my misgivings about ball players, I'm very proud of the way you comported yourselves. With the single exception of one misguided young man who shall remain nameless, but whose initials are Jeff Metcalf. You're facing expulsion, Mr. Metcalf. Remember, you are at all times representing the Lemo Tomato Juice Company. Please see to it that your behavior improves today.
Well, I'll see to it.
I would if I were you.
I always thought Christopher sounded nice. I almost named Jeff Christopher.
Christopher Kahn? It's an oxymoron. Either that or you're just trying to add insult to injury.
I'm sorry, you're right. I hadn't thought in those terms.
The kid's gonna be in high school before we agree on a name for him.
Don't exaggerate. I can't help it that most of the names I like...
Our saints' names.
All the names you like are Jewish.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. What's wrong with saints' names?
Nothing. You come up with a Jewish saint.
They took the news about the restaurant well.
What do you say that?
They haven't fired us, have they?
But we will. We have to.
I don't disagree. But the truth be told, the last time we let them go, we regretted it.
Yes, but the truth be told, we also have come to regret giving them a second chance. Because as you yourself said, they've been less than fully forthcoming. And we can't command their loyalty and attention while they're trying to start business.
I agree, absolutely. Do you want me to tell them?
No, not until I have their replacements in hand. I learned my lesson the last time. I've called around for some recommendations. Lisa Levere has given me several names. I'll be interviewing at the office so the Davises won't know.
Here's the cobbler for Mrs. Kahn.
Oh, thank you, Gloria.
I'll be home for lunch. You need anything at the store?
I can't think of anything. Oh, hi. Come on in. It's so nice to see you.
I hope you don't mind us barging in like this.
But your phone rang busy all morning.
You must have a party line.
We do.
Oh. Well, we wanted to drop this off and see how you were feeling.
Thank you very much. That's very thoughtful of you. I'm doing fine. Just permanently tired.
How well I remember that.
How is that beautiful baby?
More beautiful every day.
He finally fell asleep after staying up most of the night. Would you like some coffee?
We're not going to stay. There's no need to expose a newborn to germs.
Well, no need to be overcautious with a big baby like that. He struck me as being able to take care of himself.
Well,
It was large for an early child, but not exceptionally so. And in 2 months, well, my goodness, at 2 months, don't all infants look alike? You're fortunate your son is big and healthy. I dare say you'll even regret it when the other babies catch up to him.
I'm sure we will.
Have you picked out a name yet?
We had certain requirements for a name, and I always thought your son had a lovely name, and you helped me so during labor. Michael seems to suit our baby.
And fit our requirements.
You named him Michael?
Yes.
You don't mind?
Oh, heavens no. Heavens no.
Michael is a splendid name.
And I hope you have as much joy from your son as we had with ours.
Thank you.
And now it's time to interview the most valuable player of the day. Jeffrey Metcalf, will you join us, please? Well, Mr. Metcalf, how'd it feel to play in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the oil capital of the world?
I don't know, Miss Tomato. How would you feel if you lost 5-1 to a high school team?
But you hit that homer in the ninth yourself, which is probably because you drink Lemo tomato juice before you play.
No, it was because the pitcher threw me a hanging curveball.
But Lemo tomato juice gave you the extra drive you needed to hit that ball over the fence.
I wouldn't touch that stuff before a game.
Oh, so what you're saying is the refreshing glass of Lemo tomato juice you drink in the morning carries you right through until the afternoon.
In the morning, I drink orange juice.
Oh, he's pulling my leg, ladies and gentlemen. Not only do I know for a fact he drinks it in the morning, but I hear tell he orders Lemo tomato juice when he's out on a date to show the woman he's got her best interest at heart.
I show a woman I've got her best interest at heart by buying her a juicy steak. Who'd I impress if I bought Lemo? It's only a nickel a can. What would that prove? I'm a cheapskate?
Speaking of little ladies, what does a strong baseball player like you look for in a woman? Don't tell me, let me guess. The woman of your dreams would have to drink Lemo tomato juice. I know I do. It's the perfect drink for an eye-opening breakfast, a midday pick-me-up, or a soothing nightcap. No matter what time of day you drink it, you'll always be satisfied because Lemo is made from only the ripest tomatoes. That's the secret of its success.
It's a success because there's a half-naked woman on the can. If people buy it for the picture, not the juice, take the label off. It's just another can of tomatoes.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to the great city of Tulsa because we promised the director of the asylum we'd have Mr. Metcalf back in his padded cell by 5. So tell your friends to come down and see the Lemo All-Stars, and don't forget to drink Lemo tomato juice. Bye now.
What's going on
How
here?
could you?
Son of a bitch.
What do you think you're doing, Metcalf?
Mr. Shillab gets 1 demerit for profanity. 4 more and you're kicked off the team, you bastard.
Metcalf!
What are you going to do now?
Guess I'll 10 bar till the season starts.
What about your car payments?
I won't have any trouble making them if I give up food. How long will you be in Reno?
6 weeks.
Then I'll call you in 6 weeks.
You can't forget. You have to return my bracelet. It's an old trick, but it always works.
I must say, all of your previous employers speak very highly of you.
Thank you.
Have you had a chance to look over the list of duties?
Yes.
Is there anything you might have objection to?
Oh, no. I only need to know which ones are mine.
All of them.
But I can only work mornings.
I beg pardon?
I can only work mornings. I'm trying to start my own business.
Have you had a chance to look over the list of duties?
I can't read.
Oh.
But I'm going to school nights.
Have you had a chance to look over the list of duties?
Yeah, and I do not need such list. I clean house. I cook food. I wash clothes. You pay me. You're having neighbors?
Of course we have.
They may not be close by neighbors. I do not work well with people close to me every day.
I was thinking, Michael, that if the Davises promised that they would not use our kitchen to cook for their restaurant, and gave us assurances that they would never give short shrift to their work while in our employ, I could see my way clear to allowing them to keep their position with us, conditionally. Could you?
Yes.
Fine, then. Honey, Gloria, we'd like to have a word with you. Ever since Mr. Sloan and I had the shock of learning belatedly that you had purchased Rupert's Cafe, we felt compelled to have a discussion with you regarding your work at the restaurant and your continued employment here.
But we have never let our work at the restaurant interfere with our work here.
Which is as it should be, and which is as we want it to be in the future.
Simply put, we need your assurance that you still want your jobs here.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Well, I am gratified to hear that, aren't you, Ruth?
I most certainly am. Now, about the use of the kitchen.
But however much we want to work here, we may have to give our notice. Somehow Mrs. Levere got the notion that we were leaving our employment, and she's asked us to work for her.
Is that so?
She's offered us $8 more per week than our present salary.
That's a very generous offer.
We'd love to be able to turn her down.
Well, it goes without saying that we would love for you to turn her down.
Has anyone else offered you employment?
Mrs. Walk offered us an extra $10 a week.
I feel as if I'm under siege.
Any other offers?
Not yet.
Well, I think we can see our way to match Mrs. Walk's offer.
Yes, we certainly wouldn't want anyone to think we weren't willing to pay top dollar for your services.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Anybody seen Metcalf? Metcalf! Metcalf! Mr. Metcalf! Mr. Metcalf?
Yeah, I'll check it out. Here.
Metcalf? Has anybody here seen Metcalf? Wait! Mr. Metcalf! Wait!
What is it now?
Where are you going?
Home.
But you're one of the Lemo All-Stars.
I'm about 20 demerits past being canned.
Oh, demerits are for schoolboys. You're a grown man.
Who's been spiking your tomato juice?
That's very funny, but speaking of tomato juice, I want to congratulate you. The lovely words you spoke about Lemo have paid off. They're selling quite briskly.
I didn't say any lovely words about Lemo.
Well, you said it was cheap, and there was a naked woman on the can, and people clearly like that. Mr. Lemo wants you to be the only player on the radio doing the tour.
Forget it.
No, don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Listen, in appreciation of your talents, Mr. Lemo wants to offer you a permanent spot on the Lemo Tomato Juice Hour with Miss Zabo.
Ginger and me. Together.
Yeah, the audience seems to appreciate your particular brand of humor.
You can appreciate my backside, because there's not enough money in the world to get me on the radio with Ginger. I'm a ball player, Mr. Mellon.
Are you all right, son?
Oh!